competition that you all should be striving for. And it's called 3,000 points between you and your team. Did you notice I said team? So you want to focus on that, right? 750 points on 4 different legs, and you're a regional coordinator, a regional vice president of business. Very exciting times in that business. And yeah, so that's the comp plan, guys. Sorry about the hiccup, but we're always backing up and ready to go. And okay. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to talk about this real quick. You got, as a regional director in the business, and you go out and you just produce as an ETL, you know, just see the regional directors on the top. But if you got regional ETLs, if you're an ETL in the business, and just in 1 week you produce, right? You produce a CQ, one CQ, one, not 10, not 15. Everybody, oh, I need 15, I need 10, I need 5. No, you need one. Just get one. If you do one a week on 5 different legs, right? You can see very quickly 24 CQs at $150 is $3,600. That's $43,200 a year. I know people that go to work 40 hours and have no freedom, because that's what you're going after, guys. Freedom, right? 43,000. And then the best part is this right here. Put this in your, whatever you got to do. Focus on 24 IBOs that go out and get 10 points apiece. That's 240 points per month. 240 points a month. 10 months later, you're a what? You're a RVP and on your way to senior vice president. Guys, I hope you got something out of my training. I get excited about this part, but I get to bring up an individual that I didn't know I was going to bring up. So I'm excited. So you need to strap your seatbelt up. Okay, guys, I see so many people out there. Henry Ford, I see you taking notes, man. You're a champion. Patrick Miller, I see you. You're excited, right? Ryan, I see you. Guys, I'm excited to bring up this individual. He's a senior vice president. He does not need to be here. How many people need to be here? How many people are like, I need this to work. I need a leader. I need someone to be there to guide me, to do whatever. For 7 years, this man's been coming to every Friday night leadership. Not a question in doubt. And that's what a leader does. He leads by example. It's in his signatures and it's in his emails. And I'm going to bring up top senior vice president, keynote speaker for ACN, Circle Champions member, Mr. Patrick Maser. I'm fired up. I'm in New York right now. I miss Dallas. I miss everybody. The calls are yours, Pat.
Wow, it's great to be on here with everybody. And before I get my topic kicked off, I want to give it back to the individual that brought me up here today. How many of us agree Michael did a phenomenal job? He taught his subject. He was ready to go. There was a little technical issue, but it did not stop him from just picking up where Raul left off and continue down the road and put that right in the end zone here tonight. I thought he did a phenomenal job. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations, Michael. Just super proud of you, buddy. Loved how you're prepared. You know, people say all the time, you don't need to get prepared if you are prepared. And that's what you saw here this evening. Somebody that, you know, just took the ball and ran with it here this evening, and just says a lot about his leadership, the years that he put into what we're doing here tonight, and always ready to take the lead. And I love the compensation plan. The compensation plan is what's going to give us the freedom that we're looking for. Look, folks, I believe that people in our country today that have a job today would love to be their own boss. They would love to be able to do what they want when they want. Now, being your own boss doesn't mean you're laying around and not working. It means you have the freedom to choose when you work, the freedom to choose how much you work, the freedom to make as much money as you want to make, because we take the boss away. And so when I walked into this opportunity 22, 23 years ago with my brother Mike, I was just looking for more. How many of us here fall into that category? I was just looking for more. And when I fell into the personal development that comes along with this, when my mentors introduced me to things like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, one of the best books that are out there next to the Bible. Also, How to Win Friends and Influence People. For those of you that want an amazing book to read, How to Win Friends and Influence People. See, what ACN did for us wasn't just showed us a way to get financially free, but showed us a way to grow as a human being, how to step into that leadership role, how to become more so you can have more. See, here's what I found is that the more you grow, the more your income grows. Tonight we got a whole group here in Dallas, Texas. We're all together. We're strategizing as a team. We're ready to take this market over. There's 8+ million people in the Dallas metro area, and we're getting together on a Friday night because we're preparing for the success that inevitably we're going to have. And I saw that same thing happen in Arizona, where people got together in Arizona and they were plugging into a Friday night leadership, just like you're looking at here tonight. And they were taking that information and they were putting it to work. And that's exactly what we're going to be teaching you here this evening. Now, we've got an entire lineup of live events that we're going to be doing over the next 60+ days. And we're going to give you the information here tonight so you know how to plug into those events. I was just in Louisiana with Melanie Salzberg, who's one of the top regional coordinators. Henry Ford, you just saw him. He's the number 2 or number 3 executive team leader. He put over 27 people in an event in Louisiana. We went down and got a chance to meet some incredible people. And the reason I share that with you is it wasn't the event that we did. It was all the Zoom meetings that Henry did and Melanie did before we got into the market. Does that make sense? Meaning it was the work that they did before. So that way, when we came, we were just meeting people that we met online. And when they walked into that room and they got a chance to see that everything we said online was exactly the way it is, and that we're going to partner up with people and we're going to help people, it just got people excited to want to partner up with us. So Melanie, Henry, great job. Rick Cordero, Regional Vice President, he flew in. We drove from DFW straight across to Louisiana and had an amazing time. And that was on Tuesday night. And so I share that with you because what we're doing here tonight is really helping people prepare for what I believe to be the greatest year of this company, which is 2025. But let's talk about what we can do to get prepared. Number one, you got to start to think bigger. Here's what I find is sometimes we've been restricted in our thinking. Sometimes we're not taking the lid off our dreams. Sometimes we're not thinking about how much we could really do within a short period of time. And so the first thing we have to do is we've got to really come up with a big reason for doing this. This isn't a business for the lighthearted. This isn't a business for people without a big dream. This is a business designed for people that have a big dream. If you don't have a big dream, this probably isn't going to work to the level that you want it to work. If you got a big dream, this business will work big because you're willing to do the necessary work in order to hit the positions. The only position I focused on when I got started was regional vice president. That was it. Regional vice president. And here's what I decided. I made a decision that we were going to become a regional vice president. And everything starts in your brain. How many of us would agree with that statement? Everything starts in your brain. The first thing I asked somebody, I said, what position you want to hit? Regional vice president. Draw it out. Tell me how it's going to happen. Show me what the marketing plan tells you so you know what you have to do to become a regional vice president. See, Michael did a great job talking about it, but can we agree? Can you explain it? How many legs do you need to become a regional vice president? How many points do you need in order to be a regional vice president? See, here's what's exciting is if you focused on regional vice president, just like you would focus on becoming a doctor. See, if it took you 4 years of undergraduate and 4 years of medical school and 2 years of residency, and it took you 10 years to be a doctor, how many of us would agree you would have accepted it's going to take me 10 years? There's no emotional roller coaster in year 2. There's no emotional roller coaster in year 4. You're not going to get frustrated in year 5. You're not a doctor. Why? Because you've accepted that it's going to take 10 years. You've accepted it's going to take 10 years. So when I looked at ACN, here's what I made a decision and said, okay, I want to be a regional vice president. That's the end goal for me when I first got started. I couldn't even see senior vice president. To me, that was pie in the sky. That was, man, I don't know people that could do something like that. But I believe if I had the right coaching and I brought a ferocious work ethic to the table, and I was willing to put in the work, and work in our business is talking to people. That's working our business. You know, here's what I'll share with people. When people say to me, man, it's not going fast enough, show me your day timer and I'll tell you your future. Show me the amount of meetings that you've done and I'll show you how far you're going to get. See, that's all this business is about. Doesn't take talent. Doesn't take some sort of special quality. What it takes is showing the business enough times until you find the right people. Until you find the right people. So a couple things you want to think about here today. Number one, the holidays are coming, folks. Let me tell you what the holidays mean in our business. It means a viral opportunity. Think about Thanksgiving. The biggest bar night of the year is Wednesday before Thursday night Thanksgiving. The night before Thanksgiving, more people socialize than any other day of the year. Now, if you know that more people are socializing on the day before Thanksgiving, doesn't it make sense to do as many meetings as you can going into the biggest social day of the year? What do you think they're going to be talking about around those Thanksgiving tables? Hey, what have you been up to? What's new? Right? Can we agree that's just natural conversation after the turkey's eaten, after the pumpkin pie's been cut? Isn't that just a natural conversation that people have? Now think about, when does Hollywood drop their biggest movies? The weekend of Thanksgiving. Why? Because they know the American public took time off. When is the biggest retail day of the year? The Friday after Thanksgiving. They call that Black Friday. Most retailers do 20 to 30% of their entire sales for the year in one day. How many of you ever heard of Cyber Monday? Right? Can we agree? What is that? That is an online shopping bonanza because people are sitting around looking for things to do. Now imagine if you go into this Thanksgiving season, but you prepare by putting ACN in front of every single person that you could. Well, guess where it starts? Number one, it starts with the Zoom meeting. If you're on here tonight and you don't have a Zoom meeting scheduled for next week, let's get that done before you go to bed tonight. Before you go to bed tonight. See, look, pressure makes diamonds, folks. Pressure makes diamonds. There's nobody going to get to the top that it was smooth sailing. There's nobody that got to the top that didn't have challenges, sickness, problems, family problems, normal everyday problems. Everyday problems happen to rich people and happen to poor people, yes or no? Everyday problems, right? Things happen to everybody, yes or no? But what you got to do is you've got to make sure that your business is a priority in your life. Because if your business is not a priority in your life, it will fall second to things that don't matter. How many of us would agree with that? Other things will take its place, right? Time always gets sucked up with things to do. And the reason I share that with you is that once I schedule a meeting, here's what I know. I got to fill that meeting. See, the number one rule in our business is nobody cancels meetings. That's the number one rule. If you schedule a meeting, guess what? You can't cancel it. Why? Because a presenter said what? I'm going to be there. The presenter said, I'm going to be there. If you scheduled a meeting with Matt Middlestad for Monday night at 7 o'clock, that means Matt tells everybody else, I can't do a meeting on 7 because I'm doing your meeting. Mary Jones, I'm doing Mary Jones's meeting. Now, if Mary Jones cancels her meeting, can we agree Matt is not doing anything else on that hour? That hour is specifically set aside to help somebody's family have success. So when you schedule a meeting, the number one thing you want to do is fill that meeting. That's your number one requirement, is to fill that meeting. Well, how do you fill a meeting? Very simple. You got to build a names list. You got to build a names list. And I'm not talking about paging through someone's phone. I'm not talking about scrolling through Facebook, thinking of people that you're going to reach out to. I'm talking about getting a notebook and sitting down and taking every number out of your phone and writing it down on a piece of paper, because if you write it down, it's going to make you have to give those people a call, yes or no, if you write it down. If you scroll through your phone, there's never going to be people to call. You're going to prejudge this person. You're going to have a story in your head about that person. Oh, not Mary. oh, not John. Sue wouldn't have any time for something like this. What you don't know is Sue, John, and Mary know who you need in your business. But you're not going to get those individuals in your business unless you bring it to Joe and Mary and Sue. Does that make sense to everybody here today? My greatest reps came from people that I introduced it to. Not people that I knew, people I introduced it to the Henry Fords, introduced it to the Michael Erics, introduced it to the individuals you got a chance to hear today. How many of us are blown away with the new regional coordinator promotions on here tonight? I mean, just amazing to see what these guys are doing. But here's what I'll tell you is they weren't personal recruits. They came through people that brought people that brought people. But everything starts with us. Now, when you think about taking the time to make that list, here's what I think to myself. We make birthday lists. We make Christmas lists. We make family reunion lists. Yes or no? How many of us do those things? See, we've got to take the time to build the monster list. I want to call it your dream list. Why? Because if you go through your list, your dreams will become a reality. But you got to go through the list. You got to be willing to write it down. If you're working with me, you know what I say? Take a picture and send it to me. Why? Because then I get to see that you did it. Right? Can we agree there's a little accountability in success, yes or no? Hey, just show me that you took the time to do it. Show me that we should take you seriously. Show me that you are the one that you say that you are. And so once they get that list down, then I start giving them some ideas. Who would you call if you needed accounting work done? Write their name down. Who would you call if you needed some financial services? Write their name down. Who would you call if you needed a roof redone? Write their name down. Who would you call if you needed your automobile cleaned? Write their name down. Who do you know that sells automobiles? Write their name down. Who do you know that does insurance? Write their name down. What if you needed landscaping? Write their name down. How many of you now are thinking of people that maybe you didn't think about initially? See, when I started to really go through my list, here's what I realized. I today still haven't got to everybody on my list. I haven't got to them all. But I don't come from a place of lack. I come from a place of abundance. Can we agree that's a different mentality? See, when you got abundance and you got 300 people on a list and 290 people tell you to go fly a kite, but 10 people tell you I want to do it, you're on your road to financial freedom. Can we agree you're not going to remember those 290 people in the future? Right? You're not going to remember when they said no. You're not going to remember when they said, hey, it's not for me or I'm not interested. I can't even remember who said no to me yesterday, but I do remember who said yes. I do remember who said yes. So we got to start with the list, folks. If you want to have big success, you got to make a big list. If you want this thing to work in a major way, you got to have a major list. If you want to have the freedom of taking the boss away. Look, when I meet somebody that has a job, I feel bad. I feel bad. I feel bad. And I'm like to myself, you better fight your way out of that job. You better fight your way into that freedom. You better fight every single day to get out from underneath somebody else's command. If your name isn't on the sign, you're building someone else's dream, not your dream. See, you've got to remember, you got to have that I will do it mentality when you get into this business. This is the greatest business in America. There's not a better business in America here today for the average everyday human being. Yes or no? You're in the biggest industries in the world. You didn't have to spend $1 billion to get in the wireless industry. You didn't have to spend a couple $100 million to get in the healthcare industry. You didn't have to spend tens of millions of dollars to get in the identity theft industry. Do you realize that you and I are involved in every single one of those industries, and all we have to do is build a list? That's it. All we have to do is build a list, folks. And if we can build a big enough list, and we are sorting and not selling, and we are inviting and not convincing, and we're saying, hey, come take a listen. If it isn't for you, okay, see you later. I don't care. Don't want to live your life anyway. No one's trying to convince me to live their life. How about you? See, here's what's great about our opportunity. You got to have and I said this about 4 weeks ago, and I'll tell you, man, this is probably one of the biggest things that I had to get over when I got in. I want you to think about, let's say that Owen, I sent him out in one corner and I sent James Brigham out in the other corner. And I said to James Brigham, James, here's a stack of $20 bills. And I want you to give $20 bills to everybody that walks by. That's your job. Here's a big old duffel bag with $20 bills. Everybody that walks by, I want you to hand them a $20 bill. And Owen, I'm going to put you on the other corner, and I want you to ask everybody that walks by for a $20 bill. First person walks down the street, Owen says, "Hey, can I have $20?" They said, "Man, get away from me. I hate you beggars. I'm tired of this city being overrun with beggars." And then that same person walks across the street and James tries to give him a $20 bill. And they say, "Man, I don't want anything to do with you. What are you doing trying to give me a $20 bill? That makes no sense to me whatsoever." Now, Owen feels bad because he feels like he's begging people. James looks at that person like they're crazy because he's trying to give them money. Do you see the difference in your mentality when it comes to your list? Are you begging people to come take a listen, or are you giving money away, folks? Because if you're giving money away, how many of us would agree you don't care if they don't want to take it? You're giving money away. I feel like we're giving money away right now. We are giving money away. And so you got to have the big list. Without the big list, number one, you're going to become that lack mentality. That's when I hear people tell me about somebody, "Oh, Bob doesn't want to do it." Sort. You should have 27 Bobs on your list. "Oh man, Mary doesn't think it's a big idea." You should have 13 Marys on your list. Does that make meaning you should be sorting and not selling? You should be moving through people and not convincing people. You got to have the mindset of the gold mine. Can we agree, if you had a gold mine, how much dirt do you think you have to shovel to find some gold? How many of us agree gold doesn't sit at the surface of the earth? What do you got to do? You got to dig some dirt, right? What's the dirt in our business? Not interested. Dirt. Don't have time for this. Dirt. Never do something like this. Dirt. Yes or no? Don't talk about the dirt. Here's what I talk about. I talk about the RCs that went in 53 days. That's called gold. I talk about Caesar and Sonia Buffoni hit RVP in 6 months. That's called gold, right? I talk about the gold. I talk about the JT Thomas. I talk about the Rick Corderos. I talk about the Harsh Patels, the Alejandro Kalmans. I talk about the gold. I don't focus on the dirt. Man, how many people do you need to go RVP? You need 4 good people. If you're taking notes, write down 4 good. That's what you need. You need 4 good people. Imagine if you had a Monica Bernardino and you found an MD Ramen, right? And you found a Jeff Rincon, and you went out and you found yourself a Michael Eric. That's all. You found 4 people. They went on with or without you. You know, I sat down with a business owner yesterday, owns a big mortgage company. Here's what I said to him: "You'll never get residual income. You'll never have it. There's no end game here. Bro, I will come back in 20 years and guess what you're still going to be doing? Writing mortgages. There's no end game. This is it." I said, "Let me tell you the difference between my business and your business. If you don't come in next year, nobody comes in next year. This business will be shut down. The doors will be boarded up. The landlord will come and throw your desk on the corner and a new tenant will be in here because you did not come." I said, if I called Platinum Regional Vice President Jeff Street right now and told him I never want to do ACN again, that I'm going to take my cell phone and throw it in the ocean and never call me again about this ACN opportunity, you know what he would tell me? "I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick. I'm going SVP." That means I'm forced to keep making money, even if I told him I never wanted to do it again. Do you see the difference in the business that that guy was doing and the business that you're doing? See, once you get the right Matt Middlestad is going with or without me. Money May is going to do it with or without me. right? What does that mean? Yes, you got to do the work. We're building a business. But how many of us here would rather sort through some people to find four good people to be able to enjoy that residual income for the rest of our life compared to anything else out there that I see today? I mean, I am out of my mind excited. Now, how do you fill that Zoom meeting? You got to make the calls. You got to pick up the phone. Here's what I find. If you pick up the phone, you will have people show up. Henry Ford had 27 people sitting in a room on a Tuesday night. You know how he got 27 people? He invited 57 people. And because he invited 57 people, he had 27 people show up. Had a confirmation list. Send us a list of people. Said, hey, confirm this person, confirm that person, confirm this person, confirm that person, confirm this person, confirm that person. So let's think about what he did. First thing he did is he made a decision. He said, Patrick, how many SVPs are in Louisiana? I said, there's none. How many RVPs are there in Louisiana? There's none. How many regional directors are there in Louisiana? There's none. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Now, the reason I share that with you is your job is to make that decision. Once you make the decision, everything else is easy. Everything else is easy, right? Here's what I knew. When I made that decision, just like you can make tonight that, hey, I'm going RVP, here's what I knew. The hardest part of our business is making the decision. Now, you might be on here tonight saying, Patrick, I made that decision. Great. Can you explain to me how you go regional vice president? What does that look like? How many legs do I need to have? How many points do I need to have? See, if you can't explain it, you can't get there, right? You need a map, right? You got to have a map. If we wanted to leave your house today and go to Miami, Florida, we need a map. You can't get there any other way without a map. You can't say, I think it's this way or I think it's that way. See, once you get your map, right, and once you know where you're going, can we agree it's easy to get to where you know you're going? You just look at the map. Now, might it take you a little longer than you want? Absolutely. How many of you been on a road sometime and there was traffic jam? How many of you had to go a detour? How many of you had situations come up where they said, man, the road's closed, man. You got to go a different direction to get back on the main road, to get back on the road to Miami. See, that's going to be normal with what we do. But what's going to make you do the work, what's going to make you do the necessary picking up the phone is you got to have the big reason why. You got to have the big reason why. It's not easy, folks. Getting rich or going broke isn't easy. Can we agree? Both aren't easy, right? I think it's hard when people are broke. Man, they got to rob from Peter to pay Paul. That's not easy, right? You got to make some excuses. That's not easy. Nor is it getting rich. But here's what I'll tell you. If you work as hard on your job in ACN, you'll be wildly successful here. How many of you know people that went to work sick? How many of you know people that went to work even though someone they love was sick? How many of you know people that went to work when everybody else was taking the day off? How many of you know people that went to work even when the weather wasn't the best? Why? Because they had to. See, ACN has to be that same have to. I have to book a meeting. I have to put people in front of it. I have to pick up the phone. Look, if you got to sit in your car and not go in your house until you make 55 phone calls, let me tell you something, you'll get it done like that. No distractions sitting in your driveway, yes or no. I used to sit in my car. You know why I had to sit in my car? Because I knew if I went in the house, there's always something to do. How many of you figured that out? If I went in the house, there's always, right? Oh, my Lord, someone's got to pick up the sock on the floor. Oh, my Lord, someone's got to put the dish in the sink. Oh, my Lord, look at the dust bunnies in the corner. Oh, my Lord, look at the smudge mark on my sliding glass door. Well, none of those things pay the bills, right? But there are things that you have to do. But if you have to sit in your car before you go in the house, let me tell you something. There's nothing else to do except make the phone calls, put in the work. If you put the work in before the Thanksgiving holiday, this thing's going to go viral. We are in open enrollment, folks. What does that mean? That means sticker shock across the country in healthcare, yes or no? Sticker shock. People are literally looking at the cost of healthcare in our country right now, and there's only two choices in our country for healthcare. Two governmentally allowed choices for healthcare. Two. One is insurance, and one is healthcare sharing. That is the two choices the American public has. Now, everybody knows the insurance option, yes or no? But how many people know the sharing option? Barely anyone. You see the opportunity. I tell people the government only gives you two choices for health coverage in this country. Choice one is called commercial insurance. Choice two is called healthcare sharing. Let me tell you about choice two. How many of you ever heard of ride sharing before? It's called Uber. Well, we're doing healthcare sharing. How would you like to be a part of that movement? There's only two choices: commercial insurance or healthcare sharing. You already know the commercial insurance choice. Let me show you the other choice. Is this helping everyone tonight? Now, once you get people interested in coming to the presentation, once you get good with the script, why do you have to get good with the script? How many of us have talked people in and out of coming to a presentation? How many of us just talked entirely too much? You get excited. Someone says, "Hey, can you tell me more?" Well, I'll tell you a little bit more. Can you tell me a little more? I'll tell you a little bit more. And pretty soon, you told them everything. And they were making a decision while you were talking. I don't think I want to do what you're doing. I don't think I'm interested in what you're doing. Don't think I could do what you're doing. See, most people that you talk to would be interested in doing it as long as they talk to an expert. This whole business is about an expert, folks. You got to meet the expert. I'm not the expert. See, here's what I do. I humble myself and I increase the expert. Is everybody clear on that? I humble myself and I increase the expert. Hey, me, I used to sell t-shirts. Thank God it has nothing to do with t-shirts, because if I started telling you about what I know, you'll be selling t-shirts. And the last thing you want to do is sell t-shirts. But let me tell you about my expert. His name's Matt Middlestat. He's an incredible leader. He's a multi-business owner. He has a private Zoom meeting on Monday at 6 o'clock, and I want to invite you on it. Is that something you think you could make? It's going to be about 30 minutes. It's going to feel like 10 minutes when he's done talking, although it's going to be 30 minutes. Can I put you down for coming? Man, I'll tell you, Matt is such a professional. Somebody from his office is going to confirm the appointment. That's how professional this guy is. Can I put you down for coming? Can I put you down for coming? And look, here's the number one problem people have. They prejudge. They prejudge. Man, if you would have got in a New York City cab, if you were sitting in a New York City cab, would you pique the interest of the person holding the steering wheel? And if your answer is no, you would have missed out on a senior vice president called MD Rahman. If you saw a guy selling t-shirts, would you prejudge him? Would you think, man, that guy probably wouldn't be able to do what we do? He doesn't have the swagger. He doesn't have that gumption. He doesn't have that professionalism. He probably wouldn't be any good at something like this. And you would miss out on a senior vice president. I tell you that because they come in all forms, all sizes, all backgrounds, all educations. Some of them are young, some of them are mature, some of them been around a while. Man, some of them are going to do it because they want to be a part of a movement. Some are going to do it because they want to get rich. Some are already rich and say, I don't need any more money, but I need to help more people. I love that win-win attitude. I love being around positive people. Folks, I'd pay $2.99 just to hang out on this call. I'd pay $2.99 just to call you my friend. Man, I didn't know what a friend was until I got an ACN. I was hanging out with negative people. I didn't even know they were negative until I hung out with ACN people. I went back and was like, bro, you are negative. Like if I stuck you in a closet, you would develop. You're so negative. Man, I didn't realize, man, they're talking hung by their tongue. I could never do something like that. You're right. You could never do something like that. Why? Because you said it. What I didn't realize is the people that I was talking broke because of the way they talked. They talk broke. Man, I'm struggling. And you are struggling. Man, just trying to pay the bills. And that's all you're ever going to do. Pat, if I had that kind of money, I'd never buy that car. Don't worry, you're never going to have that money because your words are creating your future. And your words are creating your future. If you knew your words are creating your future, why would you ever say those things? Because your words are creating your future. I got involved in ACN and I sat in leadership and they started talking to me about, what are you saying? Patrick, what are you saying? You got to create the future with your words. I am an SVP. I will find 4 motivated people. I will find 4 people that will go regional director or regional. I will find them. I will find them. If you woke up every day and said, I will find 4 motivated, your script could be, I need 4 motivated people. Is that you? I want to show you what I'm up to. I got a mission. Are you mission minded? I need you to come see what I'm up to. I need 4 motivated people. Doesn't it sound so easy? Yes or no? Here's the crazy part. Jesus had to talk to more than 12 to get 12. He talked to thousands to get 12. Right? We just got to be willing to do the work. Now, let's talk about this tour, folks. We got city after city after city that we're going to be in. Henry will tell you, when I was in Louisiana, let me tell you the first thing I did. I shook someone's hand. Nice to meet you, Patrick Maser. Who do you know in Texas? Who do you know? That was my first question. Who do you know in Texas? Why? Because we're going to have an event in Dallas on Tuesday. We're going to have an event in San Antonio. We're going to have an event in Houston. We're going to have an event in Lubbock. So I'm asking people, who do you know in these cities? Because I want people in every single one of those cities. Does that make sense? Now, where do you get that information? How do you stay plugged in to the tour and all the cities and the time and the location? Mike, can you share that Wealth Institute website for everybody? Can you show them how simple it is for them to be plugged into what we're doing here tonight so that everybody knows where to find the information at? You're not missing anything. You're up to date. You're up to speed. You know what's going on. You're fully educated on all the things that we're doing. So, Mr. Eric, if you could bring up the Wealth Institute for everybody. This is our team website. So you're going to see live events right on the event page. And you can literally go through and see every single city that we're going to do something. And if you touch on the city of the state of Dallas, Texas, sorry, you're going to see all the different events that we have, starting with this Tuesday, the 19th, Dallas, Texas. I've got a guy flying from Chicago on Tuesday to be at this event. Now, you might say to yourself, why would somebody fly from Chicago? Because he's hungry for the information. He's not letting a plane ticket stop him from being next to the co-founder of the company. He said, I'll fly in on Tuesday and fly out on Wednesday, Patrick, just so I can sit in that room and get a chance to sit at the feet of the co-founder of the company. Now you can page down and see some other events that we'll be doing. San Antonio, Texas, Houston, Texas. These events are going to be incredible for people to plug in, listen and learn, get the necessary training, get the information needed, get their belief system through the roof, get a chance to meet average people that are living extraordinary lives, getting an opportunity to plug in with people that have did it, have been there, have done it, have hit top positions in our company. There's a law called the law of proximity. You can't hang out with rich people and not become one. Just like people hang out with negative people and they become one. So you're going to find all that information. Lubbock, Texas, that's on there as well, the 22nd day of the month. Again, an opportunity for you to plug in, listen, learn, grow, and become successful. Ohio, they just ran through Ohio. They're going to be also, if you page up one more right there, Charlotte, North Carolina, November 19th. Who knows somebody in North Carolina? North Carolina, folks. MD Ramen, we were in Columbus last night. Those guys had a dozen or so people at the event. in Columbus, Ohio. They were excited about what they saw. So again, all that information is available for you so that you know exactly what's happening. New Jersey and Woodbridge, going to be an amazing event. Going to get an opportunity in December 2nd to see Tony Kupis in the greater New Jersey, North Jersey marketplace. Going to be incredible. MD Ramen. There's going to be some incredible people that are going to be there. Michael Maser, Jeff Rincon, MD Ramen, Tony Kupis. Again, just an amazing time to be able to get in front of some great information. So again, we've got a tour set up between now and the end of the year. We're going to make sure that nobody gets left behind. So guys, look, I think that we have the greatest opportunity on planet Earth. Is it going to take work? Absolutely. Are you going to have to get uncomfortable? 100%. Are you going to have to do some things you don't want to do? Yes. Are you going to have to make some calls you don't want to make? Absolutely. Was there people? I was nervous. I can remember like yesterday, literally nervous making phone calls. Nervous. Like, and what's crazy about that, looking back on that, what was I nervous about? You know what I was nervous about? What people would say. And here's what I realized. The older you get in life, the less you realize that people don't care about what you do. They care about what they do. They're more worried about what you think of them than they think of you. How many of you realize that the older you get, the less people really care, right? It's always in our head. Oh, what are they going to say? Who cares what they say? Who cares? Let me tell you what they're going to say. When you go regional vice president, here's what they're going to say. My friend did that. Oh, my friend got in one of those. Man, my friend, man, he was a maniac. He called a lot of people, man, but he went to the top of that company. And now my friend is one of the biggest success stories. Man, he walks into rooms, they clap for him. Man, he's like a little celebrity. It's incredible what he did. People come up and thank him because they were able to have a life-changing situation because of his. That's what they say. They say those things because you win. That's why they say those things, because you win. See, here's what I believe. I truly believe when you make a decision and you write it down and you obsess about it and it becomes a part of you, and you don't get out of your car at night until you make those 50 phone calls. You don't get out of your car at night until you commit to doing what you need to do for your business. See, I watch people give 8 hours to somebody else's business. Now you need to give yourself an hour in your own business. You already gave somebody else 8 hours. Give yourself an hour. Give yourself an hour so that one day you don't have to give somebody else any time. See, here's what I'll tell you is if you're willing to do the work, and the work in our business is just picking up the phone. The work in our business is just becoming a better version of you. The work in our business is going out in front and being a little different than everyone else. The work in our business is asking for a favor to make someone a customer. The work in our business is following up with someone that didn't say no but said maybe. The work in our business is showing up early at a training, ready to train. The work in our business is being prepared when your day comes, you're ready to go, right? Michael Eric, he was prepared, right? I said, hey, do comp plan. Okay, Patrick, hold on. Got the slides and did it. Yes or no? He didn't say, oh, no, he got it. No problem. Why? I'm prepared. Why? Because I got prepared. And because I'm prepared, I don't have to be prepared. And so I share that all with you to tell you we've got a window before the Thanksgiving holiday. If you want to go all in between now and then, you're going to take time off on Thanksgiving anyway. You're going to be eating turkey anyway, right? You're going to be sitting in front of the TV anyway. You're going to be eating pumpkin pie anyway. You're going to have a natural break anyway. Why don't you go into that holiday with an empty cup? With an empty cup. You say, you know what? I left it all on the field this month. I called everybody I could. I did everything I could. Whatever everything you can is all you can do is all you can do. But I am telling you, the world will come and help you when you make that decision. People will show up in your life when you make that decision. When you make the decision, there will be people that will literally show up in your life. People you haven't seen in a while, talked to in a while. They'll be saying things like, man, I've been praying for something. How many of you here today said that before someone called you about ACN? Man, I've been praying for something. I had a guy come in just the other day into our business. Really good guy, real just they're great. You meet people, you just man like you. I don't even know man. It felt like you're long-term friends. You just spent 15 days together. You know what he said? I'll never have enough money to retire, but I have enough time to build a residual to retire. I don't have enough money to retire, and I won't have enough money to retire based on where I'm at now in life, but I have enough time to build a residual income to retire. I have enough time to build a residual to retire. I'm not going to save enough money to retire, but I have enough time to build a residual income to retire. And there's a lot of people like that in our country. So let's go out and show them the plan. Tomorrow's game day, guys. Game day. Look, how many of you played sports in school before? Did you show up for the game 5 minutes before? Did you show up for the game 2 minutes before? Did you show up a half hour before? 45 minutes before? Well, why? Because you got to get prepared. See, tomorrow, look, an hour before, an hour before. Look at people in the chat. They're writing an hour before. You got to come to class tomorrow ready. Get up early tomorrow. It's Saturday. It's game day for us. That's our game day, folks. Saturday training, guess what Saturday training is? The follow-up for every person you've met all week long, giving them a call. Hey, jump on training this morning. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait till you hear the speaker. Put your seatbelt on. You got a helmet sitting around your house. You're probably going to want to put it on because you're going to hit the roof when you hear them speak. You got a seatbelt for that chair of yours. You're going to need to put it on because you're about to fall off your chair. Wait till you get a chance to see the leaders perform on Saturday. Saturday is a fortune, is in our follow-up. How many of you here had to see ACN more than once to sign up? Now, how many of us had to see ACN more than one time to sign up? Most of us. Tomorrow is the game day. Tomorrow is the fortune in the follow-up day. Tomorrow is I'm getting up, I'm getting a cup of coffee in me, I'm getting on the phone. Man, it's ready to go. We're about to start the training. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And if you live in your dream, someday you'll be living your dream. It was in my head before it was in my hand. I was making millions before I was making millions, right? I was telling people I'm going to be rich and I need to jump on my escort car to get home, right? From the outside, it didn't look like it was possible, but they weren't looking on the inside, folks. From the outside, they said, man, there's no way. But on the inside, it was already done. I read the books, I listened to the audios, I came to the events. I said, if he did it and she did it and this guy did it and that guy did it, all I need to do is find 4 crazy people. That's it. I need 4. I just need 4. That's all I need. So with that being said, folks, I'm excited about what we're up to. We got something so special in our hands. It's hard not to share it with people. And don't be frustrated by the people that don't want to do it, folks. Here's what my mentor said. Get fascinated. I'm not frustrated. I'm fascinated. It's fascinating. Fascinating you got a job and don't want to own a business. That's fascinating to me. Boy, that is fascinating. Fascinating that you don't want to own your own business, that you don't want to be your own. That's fascinating to me. That's fascinating that you don't want to go out and dictate your future based on your own efforts. That's not frustrating to me. That fascinates me that you're not out there fighting for your family's freedom. That's fascinating to me. So with that being said, JT, man, you did a great job here tonight, man. I am so proud of you, buddy. I am so, so grateful. I thank the Lord every day we get to work together. I thank the Lord every day that we get a special team of people coming together to do his work on earth. We are about to do something so monumental. They're going to write books about this team. They're going to be telling stories about this team. I promise in the next 24 months from today, you will have a badge of honor saying, I was here in 2024. Man, what was it like in 2024? Oh, we were just about to take off with this health share thing. We were just about to go into hyperdrive with health share. We were bringing something into the marketplace that had never been done before, and we were the pioneers that have done it. We are the ones that were doing it, and I believe the only way we should end tonight's call is being grateful for what we've got, grateful the fact that we got up here today, and grateful that we have another opportunity to help another person in a major way. So with that, I'm going to send it over to you, JT. Let's give them all a prayer on our way out the door here tonight, and I'll turn the call over to you, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patrick, and I appreciate you and your leadership and everybody on the call. I thank you guys, and let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you, Lord, just thanking you for an amazing night. We pray for ACN. We pray for the co-founders. We pray for this leadership that's on this call, Lord God. And we ask that you give us strength during this time, that you help us to endure anything that is coming against